Hey guys, Language Hacker here, and the final card dump has been posted for Fractured and Alterac Valley, so we're gonna go through the rest of the cards and kind of speed run what's left, because there's quite a few cards that were dumped today, and I don't want to make a 2-hour video, so we're gonna try to speed run this. My ratings might be wrong, but that's fine. We're just gonna discuss how good the cards are in general. So yeah, let's go. Hop right into it. Let's go. Fellwalker, 6 mana, 3/7 demon with taunt, defensively statted, nice, and it has taunt. Battlecry, cast the highest cost fell spell from your hand. This seems pretty solid. I don't know what fell spells we're using, but this is a nice defensively statted minion. This does not work in Questline Warlock, but I'm sure there's some fell spells that are actually kind of useful, so this probably sees some play. Arcane Brilliance, 4 mana arcane spell for mage. Add a copy of a 7, 8, 9, and 10 cost spell in your deck to your hand. Importantly, this is copy, so you're not tutoring your printing value, which is very, very good, right? I talked about this a little bit in the previous videos as well. There's absolutely a value-heavy mage you can make that probably goes around big spell, and because of that, having multiple 7, 8, 9, 10 cost cards is probably pretty good. So this absolutely sees play if the meta gets slow enough. I still kind of feel like the deck's going to fall over, but we'll see. Axe Berserker, 4 mana, 3/5, warrior minion, rush, honorable kill, draw a weapon. Interesting. Effect's pretty good. Honorable kill's not too difficult to use against board-centric decks, and drawing a weapon is pretty good. I don't know if we're going to see this, though. Pirate Warrior is still probably going to be the most popular weapon, and in Control Warrior, I don't think you want to spend a card on this. You might just rather run Corsair Cash. I don't think this will see that much play. This is okay, but not great. Bless. Bless, that's funny. 2 mana spell from Priest. It's a holy spell. Give a minion +2 health, then set its attack to be equal to its health. Oh! This is literally powered so I haven't seen these cards yet, so this is just off the top of my head. This is insane, isn't it? I mean, you don't get a card draw, but it's kind of like a powered shield plus interfere in 1. This is pretty good. And a lot of priest minions are naturally just defensively statted, which means that they have a higher health total than attack. So this is probably pretty solid in some sort of mid-range priest deck. Cool. Bloodguard, 5 mana, 4/7, thick. Whenever this minion takes damage, give your minions +1 attack. Interesting. Probably not going to see this in standard. The stat line's okay. It's probably fine in arena. It's probably pretty good in arena. There might be some sort of tokeny deck that can rely on this. I know there's some Demon Hunter cards that are being pushed around tokens, but I feel like this might be too slow in constructed. Bunker Sergeant, 3 mana, 2/4. Battlecry, if your opponent has 2 or more minions, deal 1 damage to all enemy minions. Okay. It's kind of like an old card called Twilight Flamecaller. And that's a play at the time, but we were not running the kinds of stuff that we are now. I don't think we see this too much. You could try running this in some greedy decks that try, for example, Druid, that tries to ramp up. This isn't awful, but I don't think this is going to be seeing too much play, because most minions that people develop outside of like turn 1 will probably have more than 1 health, so I don't think this is going to be that great. This could be an anti-hunter card. If Wolpertingers is still run, we have more X1 minions, but I don't think this is that good. It's a tech card option, but I don't think it's going to be great. It might see some fringe play. Cavalry Horn, 5 mana, 3/2 weapon for Paladin. Death Rattle, summon the lowest cost minion in your hand. Okay, so there was some big Paladin support that we've seen, I think, in the previous video. Or maybe it was in this video. Whatever. There's some big Paladin support. Not a lot, not as much as big DH, but this can absolutely be used in big Paladin, right? Because if your lowest cost minion is just really expensive, then you summon it. 5 mana, 3/2 weapons, kind of slow. And you get to proc it on turn 6 or turn 5 on coin at the earliest, because you equip, swing, and then swing again. This is probably okay. It's slow, but that's kind of the whole point of Paladin. And theoretically, you're running cards that have immediate impact on the board, i.e. taunts or rushes or something like that. And Paladin did get some big rush minions, I think. So this probably actually sees play in the big deck. How good is the big deck? I don't know. We'll find out. We'll be doing some theory crafting after this, so I'll keep you guys posted on that. 5 mana spell for Rogue, Contraband Stash. Replay 5 cards from other classes you played this game. Burglar Rogue making a comeback. This seems kind of poop. But I don't know what are the Burglar cards we've seen. Oh, you know what? You probably run this with the there was this 5-mana rogue legendary that I don't think we'll get to it later because it was revealed after my last video, but it'll come up a bit later. It works for that. We'll talk about this in a minute. Probably poop, but it does fit in that deck, and it's probably fun. Desecrated Graveyard. 3-mana spell for Warlock. So this is the aura effect for Warlock. At the end of your turn, destroy your lowest attack minion to summon a 4/4 Shade. Last 3 turns. Okay, I mean, this works with eggs. There's egg synergy here, and probably other small death rattles. This is probably okay. It also kind of fits with the death rattle legendary spell that Warlock got as well, Tamsin's Phylactery, which means that this is a way to just activate your stuff. So this is actually probably okay. It's a slower activation, but I don't think we're going to see super aggressive zoo. We probably see some sort of mid-range zoo. So this actually does see play, absolutely. I shouldn't say absolutely, but this probably sees play. Direwolf Commander, 3-mana 2/5 neutral. Honorable kill, summon a 2/2 wolf with stealth. It doesn't have rush, doesn't have taunt. 3/2/5 stats is fine, but probably too fair for standard. We might just see this in arena. You could consider running this in the Beast Druid deck, but you probably don't want this in the deck. Depends how many cards fit in the deck. If you're missing some slots, you could slot this in, but still kind of doubt it. Double Agent, 3-mana 3/3 rogue minion, Battlecry. If you're holding a card from another class, summon a copy of this. What? Okay, that's a pretty good effect. How easy is it to get cards from other classes? You run Swashbuckler still in, right? Wand Thief is an option as well. This is really powerful. If you can get this on curve, even if you get this on like turn 4, even turn 5 is okay, right? Rogue's all about playing good, efficient stuff. And this is very efficient stats-wise. Even if it comes down later, it's just pretty good. This is a good card. We'll have to see how many Burgles are playable, but I mean, already just Swashbuckler and Wand Thief doesn't sound awful. So that's interesting. Cool. I don't know if there's a way you can hand buff this. You probably don't run Runthak in the deck or something, but alright, this probably sees play. Frantic Hippogriff, 5-mana 3/7 rush, honorable kill again, Wind Fury. Okay, that's kind of cool. This is very interesting. Is it playable? Huh. I'm trying to think if there's a way you can run this in Druid with, let's say, so with a new Druid hero class card, you're probably running Wild Growth in the deck. If you're running Wild Growth and Living Seed, you could probably run this. It's likely worse than Umbral Owl, but there is the benefit of attacking twice with this sometimes. Probably unplayable, but this might actually see some fringe play in Druid. It depends on the meta and breakpoints of early minions. If 3 is a common health total, we might see more of this as well. Interesting. Probably not, but we'll see. Frostbite, 2-mana frost spell for Shaman. Freeze Shaman, freeze Shaman. Deal 3 damage. 2 deal 3. Already kind of good, and it can go face. Honorable kill. Your opponent's next spell costs 2 more. Yeah. I mean, we probably run this card. This seems pretty good. 2-mana deal 3 has been used quite often, and if you make your next opponent's next spell cost 2 more, that's quite good. And that's not just next turn, an opponent's next spell, period. So it can last over multiple turns if they don't play a spell in the next turn. Alright, this is just good. Frostwolf Warmaster, 4-mana 3/3, costs 1 less for each card you've played this turn. Huh, that's kind of interesting. Do we run this in Constructed? This is very interesting. It's got like a combo-y feel to it where you can draw a bunch of cards, obviously, like Miracle Rogue does, and then just slam this for 0-mana 3/3. That's kind of cool. I'm going to say this is kind of fringe. Because if you're running a deck like that, you probably just rather would have an OTK in your deck than 0-mana 3/3s. But there might be a tempo rogue deck that plays this. Maybe. I would not be surprised to see this somewhere. Full-blown evil. 3-mana Fell spell for Warlock. Deal 5 damage, randomly split among all enemy minions. Repeatable this turn? So this is a better... No, this is a slightly better Minefield. It costs more mana than Minefield. This is quite good. This is basically Echo. This is quite good. Are we running this in, let's say, Questline Warlock? Probably not. It's not quite as efficient mana-wise as the other removal tools we're using. But in another Warlock deck, we would absolutely run this. This is actually kind of good. Alright, Gangster. 2 mana 4/2 neutral minion. Stealth. After your opponent plays a minion, attack it. So neutral stealth minion. This could be some sort of... actually, this is a tech card, right? You can use this to try to play around a field contact, for example. You can use this to snipe an Octobot. Well, I mean, your opponent knows it's on the board, so they have to play differently. But they can play around it, so it's actually not that insane. But it is technically disruption for key cards, especially for... I don't know, like... If we were running Auctioneer in a deck, for example, that's a pretty niche example, but sure, Auctioneer would be a great way to disrupt that. But it's not going to deal with Mizaki. It doesn't stop quests. We might see some fringe play with this if we're targeting something in like in Conquest lineup. I don't know if it's good enough to see play just by itself without a purpose. So very fringe play. Might pop up once or twice. Gift of the Naaru, 1 mana holy spell for priest. Restore 3 health to all characters. If any are still damaged, draw a card. So you don't draw a card for each damaged one. It's just probably 1 mana, heal bomb everything, and draw a card. Most of the time, not all the time. And you can't just spam it on one, though. This is interesting. This also comes into the Wandmaker pool. This would have been really cool. Northstar Cleric. I mean, it's basically Circle of Healing, but it can heal phase too. Huh. I'm not sure if this sees play in our deck naturally. Does it? I don't think it does. For example, if we're running Injured Blade Master, we could play Blade Master plus this on 4. 4 mana 4/6 draw card. You know what? Maybe. You know what? We probably do run this somewhere. Yeah, you know what? We do run this somewhere. I'm not sure where, but we do run this somewhere. This is a powerful effect, and it's Cyclone Priest, which does not have a lot of cycle. Glaciate. Freeze Shaman. 6 mana spell. Discover an 8-cost minion, summon and freeze it. This is actually pretty good. There's a lot of defensive 8-drops. And even without defensive 8-drops, there's powerful 8-drops in general, right? You can get like... the 4/8 elementals probably just fine if it can't be cleared immediately. Freezing it causes problems, right? So you're more inclined to take a defensive minion off of this, which is kind of nice. You can't just play it like a charged call aggressively. I mean, you can still do this for tempo. It's just delayed tempo, which is probably fine. I don't know what we're running this in, though. We don't run this in Questline Shaman, for example. So we're talking about a different deck, probably Freeze Shaman, Frost Shaman, with the new Shaman Legendary. It seems slow, but if you need some sort of finishers outside of the 7 mana Shaman Legendary, you probably run this as a finisher. Yeah, it'll be frozen for... Yeah, it'll be frozen next. So freeze implies you miss your next attack. So if it has charge, it will not be able to attack this turn, but it can attack next turn. If it doesn't have charge or rush, it can only attack 2 turns from now, I believe. Right? That's how freeze works. Because when you summon a minion, it can't attack on its first turn anyways. So it's not losing an attack there because of the freeze. It loses its next attack. Which actually makes it much worse now that I thought about that. You know what? This is probably poop. You might still run this. It depends how much of the pool is defensive. If enough of the pool is defensive, i.e. Morg, Forge Fiend, Alakir is technically defensive. I don't know what other 8 mana taunts there are, but yeah, this is much less good now that I'm thinking about it. You might still run in Freeze Shaman, but I'm less excited about this. Glory Chaser, 3 mana 4/3. Oh, is this the Is this Glory's card? This is nice. Glory was the late world champion. Well, yeah, he might be the next world champion too. He is going to Worlds. Anyways, 3 mana 4/3 warrior minion. After you play a taunt minion, draw a card. Oh. Okay. You don't really want to play this on curve too much because you want to get value out of it. So we're not playing until turn like 5 or 6. This seems kind of slow, and it's play not summon as well. Although I don't know what way we can generate summons that generate taunt summons. You might play this. Warrior's lacking some card draw, but I don't think this is insane. Yeah, this doesn't seem great. This seems okay, but I don't think this is going to see play. Grave Defiler, 1 mana, 2/1 battlecry, copy a Fel spell in your hand. That's pretty cool. This works kind of nice with something like a hand shaman, hand warlock, because you maintain a hand size while developing tempo and you add resources. Might see play. This might also work in... Actually, do you guys remember if Tamsin's Phylactery is a Fel spell? I think it's a shadow spell. But if Tamsin's Phylactery is a Fel spell, this is insane. Regardless, this might see play. It's shadow? Okay, it's shadow. Well, then that makes it less good. But this probably still sees play somewhere. Effects like these have been pretty solid. Heart of the Wild, 3 mana druid spell. Give a minion +2/+2, then give your beasts +1/+1. Solid. You probably run this in the beast deck. Yeah, it's probably just solid. I mean, if you're buffing a beast, this is a 3 mana +3/+3, right? Which I imagine you will be in your beast deck. So if you buff one more on top of that, it's the 3 mana kings spread out over some minions. This is pretty good. Sees play. Herald of Lokholar. You know what? I've never pronounced this out loud, so this is kind of awkward, but that's fine. 4 mana 3/5 battlecry, draw frost spell. Nice neutral card draw for whoever wants to run it, because there's a lot of frost spells that got released for multiple classes. Probably average. 4 mana 3/5 stat line's not great, but if there is a class that needs some card draw that is running frost spells and there's space in the deck, you might throw this in there. This is probably okay, but unlikely to see play. There's more efficient card draw in like every single class. Almost every single class. Next up, Hold the Bridge. 3 mana holy spell for Paladin. Give a minion +2/+1 and Divine Shield. It gains lifesteal until end of turn. Okay, pretty solid. This gets drawn from Knight of Anointment. Pseudo lifesteal. It's okay. 3 mana +2/+1. Stat line isn't insane. It's basically Hand of Adal and a Divine Shield attached to it. You probably do run this. Buff Paladin has gotten a bit more popular, and even Libram Paladin has gotten a bit more popular because the Divine Shields have been really annoying. So this adds even more Divine Shields to the deck. I don't know if you have space to run this, but you might be able to find something to cut. This also gets discounted by Carol, which is something else to keep in mind. It doesn't actually work with Samroth, though, because of the Divine Shield. Huh. Interesting. This might see some play. I'm not quite sure how good this is. The buff is fine. The Divine Shield adds a lot of benefit, and Lifesteal is great as well, but generally Lifesteal will be less important in the decks that are running these, because the decks will already either be an aggressive deck where you don't need Lifesteal, or a slower deck like Libram Paladin that already has some built-in healing. But this card probably sees play. Humongous Owl. 7 mana 8/4 neutral beast. Death Rattle, deal 8 damage to a random enemy. Unplayable. Maybe there's some funny combo deck you can do with Celestial Alignment, but probably not playable in any decks. This should be interesting in Arena. Ice Revenant, 4 mana 4/5, Yeti stat line. Whenever you cast a frost spell, gain +2/+2. It's an elemental. It's probably fine. Depending on how many frost spells you're running in like Shaman, you could put this in a frost elemental deck, but I don't know what that would look like. Again, Theory Crafting will be doing soon, and I'll post some stuff once that's done. This doesn't seem too impressive. If you're playing this on turn 5 or 6, if you're trying to combo together with some frost spells, or probably even later, and some frost spells aren't really necessarily proactive, they're more reactive. This probably doesn't really see play. I'd be surprised. Ice Trap, new secret for Hunter, 2 mana spell. It's a frost spell. When your opponent casts a spell, return it to the hand instead. It costs 1 more. Cool. So basically, freezing trap for spells. Probably pretty good. It's disruption. Do we run it in Hunter? The thing is, I don't know if you want to be running Hunter, secrets in Hunter. This is probably just useful off of Rinling's Rifle sometimes, or a Greater Ice Trap from the Hunter hero that we'll get into a bit later. Yeah, probably doesn't see play. Excuse me. Okay, next up. Ice Blood Garrison. 2 mana warrior spell. At the end of your turn, deal 1 damage to all minions last 3 turns. Interesting for frenzy effects. Interesting for frenzy effects. It's also like delayed AoE over time, which is kind of interesting as well. Good against board development. You know what? This might see play. I don't know what we're frenzying, but we can find some stuff. Meh. Maybe. Probably not, though. There's probably better ways to do removal stuff. Ice Hoof Protector. 6 mana, 2/10 taunt. That is very defensively statted. Freeze any character damaged by this minion. Okay, so this is kind of like the old Shaman taunt. There was a 5 mana, 2/7 that had the same text. It's neutral, can be used by a lot of stuff, but are we running this in any deck? 6 is expensive, and for defensive decks, you also need to be able to pressure the combo decks that exist right now, and this does not do that. Probably doesn't see play. Iron Deep Trog. 1 mana, 1/2, neutral minion. After your opponent casts a spell, summon a copy of this. You could buff this up, and then I imagine it copies the buffs as well. This is probably playable. This is absolutely playable. Yeah, this and hand buff is good. This and even aggro druid with buffs could be good. Okay, this is quite good. Oh yeah. This is getting run. Kobold Taskmaster, 3 mana, 2/4. Battlecry, add 2 armor scraps to your hand that give +2 health to a minion. So 3 mana, 2/4, you get 2 1 mana spells that give a minion +2 health. You probably run this in Miracle Priest, question mark? Maybe not. But it has some support for Miracle Priest. You probably don't run this in Handlock, even though it adds cards to your hand. It's better than Banana Vendor. Yeah, I'll agree there. We're probably not running this in like anything. I'm not even sure you run this in Miracle Priest. Just because you want to tutor insights a bit better. Yeah, this probably doesn't see play. Interesting though. There might be a use for this, but very fringe if it does see play. Next up, 4 mana minion 3/5. Korak the Blood Rager. Death Rattle, if this was not honorably killed, resummon Korak. Honorable kill means you have to deal exact damage to the target. Now, I believe the devs clarified that something like a Nether or a Siphon Soul would not count as an honorable kill. So this is immune to stuff like that. It's immune to execute effects, hard removal, unless that is the hard removal does exact damage. So this is actually probably annoying to deal with. This might see run. This might see play. It might be run. Stat line's not impressive, but it can be pretty sticky. But this is actually, that's a fair point, chat. You could also run this with Tamsin's Phylactery, and then those minions resummon Korok. Okay, that's kind of interesting. And you could also run it in Buff Paladin as well. Yeah, this definitely sees play. Interesting. That's really cool. I like this effect. Next up, Legionnaire, 6 mana, 9/3. Death Rattle, give all minions in your hand +2/+2. It's a slow hand buff and very easy to kill. I don't think we run this. 9 is a lot of attack, but it has no immediate impact on the board. And turn 6 is very, very slow for buff decks. You generally want to get your hand buffs online a bit quicker than that. Probably don't see play. This is kind of like a Nubisath Warbringer? Whatever. The 9 mana 9/6 that had a similar effect, but it was +3/+3 Death Rattle. Now this is 3 mana cheaper, which does come down quite a bit faster, but we probably don't run this in like anything. Luminous Geode. This is a priest minion, 2 mana 1 for elemental. After friendly minion is healed, give it +2 attack. And it says friendly, not another friendly, which means this can also get an attack but sealed. Okay. Tempo Priest. It's actually quite good. This, along with the light of the Naaru, or what was it called? The 1 mana heal everything for 3. Okay. This probably sees play. This with a horse as well. The 4 mana 3/6 Lightsteed. Yeah, we haven't seen Lightsteed see play. Very interesting. Yeah, we probably see this being played. Next up, Piggyback Imp. 3 mana 4/1 demon. Death Rattle, summon a 4/1 imp, which is also demon. Piggyback, and that's called the back piggy. That's funny. Is this good? It's annoying, but 1 damage is pretty easy to do from like every class. You probably don't see this in constructed. You could run this with Tamsin's Phylactery, but you could run anything with Tamsin's Phylactery and it's still pretty good. So I don't think you need this. This might see play, but again, I highly doubt it. Pride Seeker, 3 mana 2/4 Druid card. Battlecry, your next choose 1 card costs 2 less. This into Nourish. Okay. Huh. Interesting. Yeah, this sees play. Yeah, this might see play. That's pretty cool. I'm not quite sure if it fits in that well into the Druid archetype, like the current Druid archetypes. But this is probably okay. There's another card I'm going to talk about in a little bit that would help synergize with this as well. Huh, that's kind of cool. This probably sees some play. Protect the Innocent. 5 mana Paladin spell. Summon a 5/5 defender with Taunt. If your hero was healed this turn, summon another. What? Okay. Big Paladin support, because this is a defensive spell that generates board without having to run smaller minions. This is probably fine. I don't know how you're healing that much. I mean, True Silver is an option, of course. It might be only True Silver. What other... Oh, no, you can run the Lifesteal card, the 3 mana weapon. The 3 mana weapon will do it as well. And you probably, yeah, the 3 mana Lifesteal Hammer, I forget what it's called, but it's 3 mana 3/2. Lifesteal cannot go face. Okay, this probably does see play in that deck. Okay, this is some good support for it. This is insane support. If you actually have it equipped and it goes off, holy jeez. Okay, yeah, this is really good. This is insane. Shield Shatter. Oh no, 10 mana. Oh, okay. Deal 5 damage to all minions. So it's kind of like a Reckless Flurry. Costs 1 less for each armor you have. But it doesn't get rid of your armor. That's expensive. So this pairs with another warrior card later that gets you armor. So it's like a 2-card board clear type thing. This probably sees play because of the other card. By itself, I don't know if we'd have it see play. You can run Heavy Plate plus this. It's a 5 mana clear. Okay. Yeah, probably sees playing controller. Next up, Reflecto Engineer. 3 mana 2/4. Battlecry, swap the attack and health of all minions in both players' hands. Huh. This is kind of interesting with something like a Nerubian Egg. Becomes a 2/0, and then when you play it, it's a 4/4. I don't think this is good. There might be something wacky you can do with it, but this is hard for me to figure out. And it's only enhanced, though. Keep that in mind. It's not deck. So it can be disruption against something like an Octobot. Actually, preventing Octobot discounts is pretty big. But again, it's gonna be... Well, you have to target the Octobot has to be in hand, which is hard for you to figure out. Okay, this might see fringe play. The Octobot argument is enough for me. Arcane Commander. 2 mana 2/2 Battlecry, add 2 1/1 Rams with Rush to your hand. So this is not a beast, but the 2 Rams are beasts. So you might see this in Druid Paladin. I was going to say Druid Paladin. In Beast Druid. Because of the card that gets cheaper for beasts that you've played. This might see play. 2 mana 2/2 is not that exciting, but adding more stuff to your hand is fine. And they have Rush, which is okay. This might see some fringe play. I don't think it's super powerful, that's the thing. If there's not enough cards in that deck, you might run this because it's a play on 2 that gives you some removal until you get your slower game plan aligned, but it's not that exciting. 2 mana Fel spell for Warlock, Seeds of Destruction. Shuffle 4 Rifts into your deck. They summon a 3/3 Dread Imp when drawn. Okay. Yeah, this is just fine. You have a lot of card draw. You have Backfire. You could probably run Hand of Gul'dan in this deck as well. There's probably other card draw you could do as well. Seems slow. Yeah, I mean, it would fit in a sort of... I could see this being fit in a deck, though. I don't think it's in every Warlock deck, but this probably sees some play. 4 is a lot. This is 12 stats. Obviously, it's over the course of time, and it's 3/3 imps. But this probably sees some play. Shivering Sorceress, 1 mana 2/2. Great stat line. It's a mage minion. Battlecry, reduce the cost of the highest cost spell in your hand by 1. Yeah. I mean, we run this. This is insane. What? This is actually insane. You would absolutely run a 1 mana 2/2. It's just good anti-aggro, easy to fit in, and you save a mana on your most expensive spell. Yeah, that's the thing. You don't even have to play this in a big deck. You can just jam this in Tempo Mage as well. This card is insane. This is an easy, like, highest rating. I don't know if it's 5 or 4. Like, this is an insta-5. Holy crap. This is insane. Even if you don't hit something, so like, obviously it has to be in your hand, but if you have any spell in your hand and you ship this, great. And if you don't have a spell, I mean, 1 mana 2/2 on turn 1 is still pretty good. Yeah, this is insane. Next up, Sleepbreaker, 2 mana 3/2 Shaman minion. It's an elemental as well. Battlecry, add a Windchill to your hand. Windchill is a 1 mana frost spell that freezes a minion. It can target your own minions too, technically, and draw a card. It is pretty good. This is going to see play. 2 mana 3/2, great elemental. You could throw an elemental shaman that just adds a freeze and draw a card, which is just fine. Great card. Snowblind Harpy, 3 mana 3/4. If you're holding a frost spell, gain 5 armor. Okay, this is really good. This is a very nice defensive card. Stat line is great. Big Spell Mage probably runs this because I think there's some frost spells you can run. This works in any defensive deck. This is great. This is absolutely great. 3 mana 3/4 is not that exciting, but 3 mana 3/4 gain 5 is really nice. It's obviously great in Warrior as well. Shield Slam. Or you can use this with the 10 mana AoE spell. Yeah, this is pretty good. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't get run in any control deck, but it could absolutely be run in any control deck if you need slots. And this is a nice defensive option that also fights for board early. All right. Next up, Snowfall Guardian. 5 mana 3/3 elemental. Battlecry, freeze all other minions, including your own. Gain +1/+1 for each frozen minion. Okay, that's pretty good. Literally a fucking Frost Nova. I should excuse my language. This is pretty good. This is insane. Frost Nova and Shaman, and you get a big idiot. That's great. This into Battlemaster? Absolutely. Yeah, this sees playing in the Frost Shaman deck. I don't know what the Freeze Shaman looks like, but this is a good card. Stoneheart Vindicator, 3 mana 3/1 Paladin minion. Battlecry, draw a spell that costs 3 or less. It costs 0 this turn. Huh. There's a lot of cards that work with this. Day at the Fair is a good one because it becomes corrupted very easily. It'll cost 0 mana, but you'll have to play something else after this to proc it. any cheap buff is good. You can run like Libram of Wisdom, Hand of Adal, the new Divine Shield spell we just saw earlier. Oh, this is absolutely getting run. This is just good. And it draws a spell, which is good as well. Yeah, this is great. This is very good. Okay, solid. More card draw for Paladin. Okay. Next up, Stormpike Aid Station. So this is the Priest Aura, 3 mana spell. At the end of your turn, give your minions +2 health. Last 3 turns. Okay, yeah, that's really good. Okay. Again, this probably only sees play in the mid-range Priest thing, but Priest deck, whatever that looks like. Yeah, sure, okay. Yeah. I like these effects because they're actually pretty strong, but they're slow, which means that you don't just get run over once this happens. All right, cool. Stormpike Battle Ram, 4 mana, 4/3 Hunter Beast. Rush, Death Rattle, your next beast costs 2 less. Okay. Death Rattle synergy. We do have some Death Rattle synergy that was printed in Deadmines. This works with Jewel of N'Zoth. This works with the Battlecry proc your last Death Rattle. This might see play. If this definitely sees playing, actually. I shouldn't say definitely. This shows up in Death Rattle Hunter. I tried making Death Rattle Run Hunter work after Deadmines, but there wasn't quite enough support for it. Maybe this helps? Okay, this might see play. Stormpike Marshal, 4 mana, 2/6 taunt. If you took 5 more damage on your opponent's turn, this costs 1. Interesting. This is a very interesting in open deck lists too, because if your opponent knows you're running this card, this also gives you to play around this. They can only start dealing 4 damage a turn, which buys you time even if you don't get to play this for 1. Interesting. This is a very good anti-hunter card. I don't think this just stomps aggro, but this is quite good. This is probably a tech card you want to run against the aggro. You could fit this in Druid too. I'm liking this. I bring up Druid a lot with anti-aggressive cards because Druid is kind of known for ramping up and then kind of dying against something like a Hunter. And this helps you do that. You just ship the Overgrowth, they hit you for 5, you drop a Marshal. Yeah, this seems good. Next up, Stormpike Quartermaster, 2 mana, 2/2 minion. After you cast a spell, give a random minion in your hand +1/+1. Oh. Smite OTK and Priest? Question mark? Probably bad. You can, I mean, someone's gonna make a meme deck with Smite with Miracle Priest, but it's probably just too slow. Interesting though. To the front, 2 mana warrior spell. Your minions cost 2 less this turn, but not less than 1. So if you play 1 minion this turn, this card is just useless. But if you play 2 minions, you save mana. Oh, you know what? This would work with the warrior minion that we just talked about, the 3 mana 4/3. Whenever you play taunt minion, draw a card. Because there are some warrior cards that got printed that are also 3 mana 2/4 taunts. Which means that you can go this plus the 4/3 plus chain a couple taunts together. Okay. Might see some play. I don't know what we're doing in that deck. I guess you can run bulk up. Okay, so there's some taunt synergy there. It's a very combo heavy kind of thing though, because you want to pay 3 mana for the 4/3, then you pay 2 mana for this, and then you need 1 mana for every card you're playing as well. So you need at least 6 mana. Oh no, you don't need 3 mana because you can play this before the 4/3. So you play this for 2, then you play the 4/3 for 1, and then you start chaining some taunts. So for 3 mana, no, for 4 mana, you get a 4/3 and a 2/4 taunt that draws a card. For 5 mana, you get a 4/3, 2 2/4 taunts, and a card draw. Okay, 9/9 charge plus faceless with this. Yeah, but it's not full OTK, so I mean, it might be a finisher, but I don't know. Okay, sure, I could actually see this. This actually seemed kind of meh, but this kind of makes sense. I can see it. And that sort of taunt cycle deck. I don't know what else you're doing, though. I don't know if you can win with just taunts. It's a good defensive game plan, but it's not good against aggro, so you might need some sort of finisher. Yeah, this actually makes sense with that card draw engine. Okay. Tower Sergeant, 4 mana 4/4. Battlecry, if you control at least 2 other minions, gain +2/+2. Meh. You can probably run this in one of the Warlock decks that spawns a bunch of imps, but 4 mana 6/6 hilariously isn't that strong. Is this just good in aggro? You curve out and then you jam a Tower Sergeant? Yeah, I don't know. I don't like this. I don't think we run this. Yeah, exactly. Good call, guys. It's kind of like Traveling Merchant, but a bit less good and less flexible. Nah, we're not running this. Troll Centurion. Centurion? 8/8/8. Neutral minion. Rush. Honorable kill. Deal 8 to the enemy hero. This is very rarely doing exact lethal to a minion. So is it good enough for an 8/8/8 rush? Now this does enter the Snare and Ward pool, which is kind of interesting. So it buffs Snare and Ward. I don't think we see this naturally anywhere. The honorable kill is too hard to do, and you don't want to run an 8 mana 8/8 rush. Maybe in some big decks you could consider it, but there's probably better things to put in. Next up, Vitality Surge, 2 mana paladin spell. It's a holy spell. Draw a minion. Cool. Restore health to your hero equal to its cost. Oh god. Okay. Yeah, this is great with paladin. 7 mana, you play Vitality Surge plus the 5 mana summon 2 5/5 taunts. Pretty good. You tutor the big thing to your hand, which generally isn't good, but it works with a 5 mana 5/5 thing. And there are ways for you to actually take advantage of this. You can also run like Vandar as well to... Yeah, this is good. This is good. Shrival and Wild, yeah. It's funny. Yeah, this fits in the deck for sure. Wild Paw Cavern. 4 mana shaman spell. This is the shaman aura. At the end of your turn, summon a 3/4 elemental that freezes the last 3 turns. This is insane, isn't it? 3 mana 3/4 times 3. This is great. This is very good. Again, it's slow, but I'm fine with it being slow. This is... Yeah. Okay. Solid. Ship it. Wild Paw Knoll, 5 mana 4/5 rogue card. Rush costs 1 less for each card you've added to your hand from another class. Now I'm imagining even if you use that card, this retains the discount. If any devs are in chat, please confirm that. But I'm assuming that that's how it is based on the warding. So in this Burgle deck that we've talked about, we're running Swashbuckler. We're running... Is Underbelly Fence still in? I think no, Underbelly Fence rotated. Consider Maestra. Oh my god, that's funny. Ooh, that's a very good point. So if you're in Maestra, however you pronounce that, Maestra the Magnificent, whatever, the 2 mana 3/2 that changes your class at the start of the, or you show up as a different class until you use a rogue class card. And then you run a bunch of discovers, Pandaren Importer, Venomous Scorpion that are neutrals that don't change you back. Okay. It's kind of interesting. Huh. Interesting. This definitely fits in Burgle Rogue because this is a nice defensive card that ends up being a lot cheaper. Is Burgle Rogue going to see play? Probably not. But there's still a bunch of cards we haven't seen yet. The card power is good, but it depends how many Burgles are running. Swashbuckler, again, you can consider just running because it's easy. Wand Thief, you just probably run because it's a good tool anyways. We'll see. Wait, what? You start the game with a hand of mostly rogue card. Oh! Because your class... I came to this conclusion completely by myself with no help from anyone in chat whatsoever. Now, Maestra the Magnificent or the Maleficent, whatever. The thing that changes your hero before you queue in the game and then changes back once you play a rogue card, you will be a different class, so the rogue cards in your hand will already not count as those from your class, which discounts this, kind of like Vendetta costing 0 if it's in a non-rogue class, for example, the dual class event. So this ends up being really cheap. Okay. And I'm assuming it stays... Wait. And this, will this always stay 0 mana then? Or whatever mana it is, let's say like 1 or 2 mana. Even after you switch back to rogue? Because I imagine this does get discounted while it's in your deck. Oh, okay. This just got way better. This just got no, this is insane. Even just with my Maestro. Yeah, this sees play insta. Oh, well, on ladder. I don't think we're allowed to play Maestro in tournaments, which is kind of weird. Huh. Interesting. Okay. Wind Chill. Oh, this was just the thing that you get from the Shaman thing, from the Shaman Elemental. 1 mana spell, freeze a minion, draw a card. This seems pretty good. We probably run this. This is just good. Yeah, this is great. 1 mana, delay the game. Charges up your finisher, the 7 mana Shaman thing that Shaman's 3/4 is based on every frost spell you played. Great, good card. 4 mana 2/5, Wing Commander Mulverick. Rush. Your minions have Honorable Kill, summon a 2/2 Wyvern with Rush. And this effect also will affect the Wyverns that have Rush themselves, so it can end up making a really big board clear if your opponent has multiple things with 2 mana, or like instances of 2 health on the board. As a Druid card. And those are beasts, which also works with discounting the Druid beast cards that we've seen later, or earlier. Huh. This is really good. And this applies to all of your minions too. Yeah, this is insane. This is like Necrotic Geist, but way better. Damn, yeah, this card's pretty good. Yeah, we run this. Absolutely, this gets run. Fellfire in the hole. Sorry, Fellfire in the hole! There we go. 5 mana Warlock spell. It's a Fel spell. Draw a spell and deal 2 damage to all enemies. If it's a Fel spell, deal 1 more. All enemies. This goes phase too. Huh. Okay, this is pretty good. It's expensive. Interesting to note, this can also draw the portals that you're shuffling into your deck as Warlock. So this could be 5 mana, draw a thing, which spawns a 3/3 imp, and then draws another card. Is that a Fel spell? Let me go back and check that. That's actually quite relevant. Yeah, it's a Fel spell. Look at that, synergy. Okay. Cool. Yeah, this is good then. You're absolutely running that in that deck. Cool. 5 mana, draw a card, deal 3 to all enemies. Spawn a 3/3. It doesn't always spawn a 3/3, but... Okay, that's great. Yeah, you run this in that deck. Again, I'm not sure what that deck looks like. Are we running it over questline? Probably not. But we'll see. Flanking Maneuver. 4 mana Demon Hunter spell. Summon a 4/2 demon with Rush. If it dies this turn, summon another. Big Demon Hunter support. Okay, I mean, this is pretty good. This is like Restless Mummy, but better, right? Not quite better, it's slightly different, because Restless Mummy would still take will still have the Reborn if you trade into an X1, into a 1/1 minion, for example, but this would not have the Reborn on it, but you probably use this. You would probably get both effects. Yeah, this is just good. Dead Draw, thank you for the raid. Welcome, everyone. You came at a good time. We're speed running the cards. So, yeah. Okay, yeah, this is a great card. Sneaky Scout, 2 mana, 3/2 neutral minion. Stealth, Honorable Kill. Your next hero power costs 0. 2 mana, 3/2 stealth. Okay. Honorable Kill. What are we running this in? Ping Mage? Probably not. This might see some fringe play. 2 mana 3/2 stealth is actually kind of okay. It makes it more likely you get to stick a buff on the following turn. This might actually see some play. The honorable kill isn't as relevant. It's still, I mean, it's not relevant, but I mean, one thing we were also missing was a lot of 2-drops in aggressive decks. You'll notice that a lot of aggro decks don't have that many outside of specifically Taunt Trib because of the taunt synergies. Yeah, you might run this. You probably don't, but you might. You could even run this in like Warlock, right? Play this on 2, kill something, which saves you mana for a tap. There's some applications for this. I'm not certain this will see play, but this could see play. Corporal. 2 mana 2/3. On will kill, give your other minions Divine Shield. Another 2 mana minion, that's pretty good. This is great in tempo-centric matchups, right? Where you're trying to fight for board. You get an honorable kill, you get Divine Shield, you win the game. This probably sees some play in an aggressive board deck. Claw Fury Adept, 2 mana 2/3 beast. A lot of 2-drops. Battlecry is beast. Beast. Of course, it's a beast. It's a druid card. Sorry. Battlecry. Give all other friendly characters +1 attack this turn. That's a Battlecry, so it's like a mini Savage Roar because it gives you your hero attack as well. I mean, this is great. We're running this. Yeah, absolutely. This is insane. Cool. Scrapsmith. This is the warrior taunt card I was talking about. It's a 3 mana 2/4. It's a warrior card. Taunt, Battlecry, add 2 2/4 grunts with taunt to your hand. Those are called Scrappy Grunts, and they're also 3 mana. So this paired together with the 2 mana spell that reduces the cost of minions by 2 this turn. These will be 1 mana. So you can play the spell, the 3 mana 4/3 that draws cards whenever you play taunts. That's 2 mana, 3 mana. You play this guy, it's 4 mana. You draw a card. You play another one of the Scrappy Grunts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 mana. You draw 2 cards then. You play the other Scrappy Grunts for 6 mana. You get a 4/3, 3 2/4s, and 3 cards drawn from your deck. Pretty cool. Is it good? Who knows? It's a 3-card combo, but it's probably going to be run. Spirit Guide. I mean, cycling to the end of your deck can be pretty good with Warrior. Maybe you can run that in some sort of... Nah, you can't run Cthulhu decks. There'll be something in there. It's not bad cycle. It's just a lot of pieces that you need to put together. Anyways, Spirit Guide. 5 mana 5/5 Priest minion. Taunt. Death Rattle. Draw a Holy Spell and a Shadow Spell. 5 mana 5/5 Taunt. Okay, it's defensive. Draws 2 spells, and 1 is Holy, 1 is Shadow. Yeah, okay. Death Rattle synergy. Works with Amulet of Undying. Works with the Priest hero card. This sees play. Deliverance. 3 mana Holy Spell for Priest. Deal 3 damage to a minion. Honorable kill. Summon a new 3/3 copy of it. 2 mana, deal 3, and if it's exact damage to kill it, you get a 3/3 copy of it as well. That is probably good. It's kind of like a flanking strike, but it has to be exact, and it's a little bit cheaper. Yeah, pretty solid. There's a little play. Reconnaissance. 2 mana rogue spell. Discover Death Rattle minion from another class. It costs 2 less. So kind of like Primordial Glyph, but instead of spells, you're discovering a class Death Rattle minion from a different class. I mean, it'll fit in Burgle Rogue, but I don't know. This seems... I'm not excited to play this. Cold Tooth Yeti. 3 mana 1/5 combo, gain +3 attack. So it's a 3 mana Chillwind Yeti if you're doing other stuff on the turn. It's fine for tempo. And this also gives you reasons to run 1 mana cards like Swashbuckler that adds stuff to your hand because you can go like Swashbuckler, Cold Tooth Yeti. But this isn't that exciting. Related cards, Chillwind Yeti, that's funny. Yeah, I'm not super excited to see this. Like, it's cool, but it's not really powerful. Battle-Worn Vanguard, 2 mana 2/2 Demon Hunter card. It's a minion. After your hero attack, summon 2 1/1 Fellwings, which I imagine are demons. I mean, this card's insane. 3 mana 2/2, 1 damage ping from your hero power, and 2 1/1s. This is great. This definitely seals play in an aggressive Demon Hunter. And there's also other synergies we'll see with having multiple minions on the board as well in Demon Hunter. Next up, Amplified Snow Flurry. Man, there are a lot of cards today. 2 mana 2/3 Elemental. Battle Cry. Your next hero power costs 0 and freezes the target. 2 mana 2/3, cool. And then you get a ping freeze. Yeah, this is good. 2 mana 2/3 with a ping attached to it. You don't have to ping on this turn. It carries over until you use the ping as well. This is great. I'm curious how this would work with Reckless Apprentice. If the Reckless Apprentice would apply this to everything, or if it would only freeze one of the targets. Interesting. Anyways, yeah, I mean, the card by itself is just fine, regardless of how that interaction works. If it does work with Reckless Apprentice, insane. But if it doesn't, still pretty good. I mean, just having ways to spend mana early in pressured board is nice. You can freeze opponents' minions to kind of delay dealing with them and get to push more face damage. Really cool. Mountain Bear, 7 mana 5/6 Hunter card. It's a beast taunt. And this can be cheaper with the ram, the Death Rattle ram we saw earlier. You can curve out the ram into this. 4 mana of that, plus 5 mana of this. Taunt, Death Rattle, summon 2/2/4 cubs with taunt. Yeah, I mean, you run this in Death Rattle Hunter probably, right? You get a lot of sticky minions. It gets cheaper if you're running the ram. Okay. Again, it's kind of slow, even for Death Rattle Hunter. Like, if you don't have exactly 4 into 5, the ram into this, it's kind of meh. And sometimes this ram doesn't die if your opponent's not running minions. Maybe. Maybe. There's enough stats here that this is good. But it depends how fast the meta is. Kurtrus Demon Render. 6 mana Demon Hunter hero card. Battlecry, summon 2 1/4 demons with Rush, which I believe are called Fellbat Shriekers. And they are improved by your hero attacks this game. So I imagine... I'm not sure if they get more attack when it's buffed, or if you get more of them when it's buffed. If anyone in chat can confirm that. And your hero power changes to 1 mana, +2 attack this turn. After a friendly minion attacks, refresh this. They gain 1+1 attack. Okay, so they improve by gaining more attack as your hero attacks. I think every instance of you attacking will improve it once. So this ends up being pretty solid. Good defensive tool. You gain 5 armor, 2 rush shriekers that I imagine are also just good defensively, and it's just good pressure too. Like 6 mana 2/3/4s. Sorry, 6 mana 2. Like as an example, 2 mana 2/3/4s is pretty good, and they have rush. If you've attacked twice this game, and it can get better. And this is one of the ways that you can synergize with having more minions on the board, right? Hit the button, attack with something, hit the button, attack with something, and you get a lot of attack that way. It's kind of interesting. Cool. Okay. I mean, this just looks solid. Where are we running this? I don't know. I mean, you could run this in just Big Demon Hunter as well, honestly, right? Effect is solid. Yeah, absolutely. Next up, Pathmaker, 3 mana 3/4 Druid card. Battlecry, cast the other choice from the last choose one spell you've cast. This is where we were talking earlier about the 3 mana 2/4. Is it 3 mana 2/4? 3 mana 2/4, where your next choose one spell costs 2 less. So you can go 3 mana 2/4, Nourish for 4 mana to gain mana crystals. Then you play this and draw 3 cards. Okay. Okay. Probably sees play. Seems pretty solid. Beast Stalker Tavish. This is the Hunter hero card. 6 mana. You gain 5 armor, of course. Battlecry, discover and cast 2 improved secrets. Basically, it's just the normal secrets, but upgraded. Freezing Trap makes it cost 4 more. Snake Trap summons 3 2/2s. Open the Cages summons 2 animal companions. Tactics summons 2 copies. Ice Trap makes the spell cost 2 more. And Explosive Trap deals 3 to all enemies. And your hero power changes to summon pets. Summon an animal companion, which will give you Huffer, Leok, or Misha. This is fine. This doesn't really fit with most of what Hunter wants to be doing, but it's kind of like a slow the game down tool, right? Set up 2 traps is kind of good. You lose your damaging hero power, but you can gain Huffer. So do you really lose the damage hero power? Yeah, you kind of do. So this will be okay in slower hunters, which, I mean, Blizzard has tried to push a lot over the past, how long has Hearthstone been out? 6 or 7 years? I don't think this will be super competitive. It's fine, it's just not great. Most hunters you know, end game is kill your opponent. And this gives you value, but it doesn't help you kill your opponent that much. So, doubtful? Maybe, but doubtful. Rune of the Archmage. 9 mana spell for mage. Cast 20 mana worth of mage spells at enemies. Woo! I hate this card. It probably sees play. You can get a copy of it with the mage tutor card we saw earlier, Arcane Brilliance. You can draw this in big spell mage to gain armor. You probably run this. Hopefully the deck's too slow, so we don't have to deal with this in competitive. But this card, I mean, it'll be fun, right? You just spells get flung everywhere. Pretty cool. It has like the Solarian Prime wording as well, right? If possible, it gets cast at enemies, which is good for stuff like, you know, fireballs, ignites, etc. Oof. And the cool thing about this is too that when you cast Flurry, like it doesn't like cards like Flurry and Hot Streak are really nice because I imagine the Hot Streak stack. So if you have a fire spell in hand, you could also play the fire spell after this if enough Hot Streaks are cast. And you can technically just cast infinite flurries because it doesn't use up mana as it keeps randomly going. So you could theoretically use this as like a Frost Nova, which is not what you would want to spend 9 mana on, but it could be. Anyways. Next up, 8 mana hero card for mage. Magister Dawngrass. Battlecry, recast a spell from each spell school you've cast this game. Huh. Is that good? Recast a spell from each spell school you've cast this game. Does that mean it casts a random spell from that spell school, or does that mean you cast a spell from that spell pool that you've cast this game? Okay, so one that you've already casted? No, it recasts a random arcane spell, for example. Okay. That makes it much less good. So this is just more Yogg stuff. It would be random. It would be random. Okay. So if you cast a fire spell, it would cast a random fire spell. If you've cast if a fire spell has been casted this game by you, it will cast a random fire spell. If an arcane spell has been casted this game by you, it will cast a random arcane spell, and so on and so forth. This is fine. It's not great. I mean, it does some stuff. I'm not super excited to run this. I don't think it's worth running just for the 8 mana 5 armor. What's this actually? Arcane Burst. Deal 1 damage, so it's like a ping. And if you get an honorable kill with it, you gain +2 damage, which then becomes... So if you get the honorable kill once, this becomes deal 3 damage with the same honorable kill effect, I'd imagine. It replays one that you've played. Oh, recast. Oh, that makes it way better then. Okay, sorry. That makes it way better. I misunderstood. Okay, then yeah, this is way better than... Yeah. Okay, yeah, you run this. That's fine. That's great. Is this an arcane spell? Thank you so much, by the way, for not making this. Thank you. Okay, yeah, I mean, yeah, we run this then. The hero power is kind of good too. It's a ramping sort of... I mean, this is just a win condition at this point. Right? How does this work if you cast Wildfire before this, and then you play Magister? Does the Wildfire apply to the Arcane Burst? Or would you have to... Or would you have to cast the Wildfire after this to actually benefit from the +1 damage to your hero power? I'm inclined to think that it would not naturally upgrade if you had cast Wildfire before. I saw Arcane Brilliance, yeah. Okay, you'd have to cast Wildfire after this, so you're not running this in Ping Mage realistically. I mean, you technically could, but you probably don't. Okay, I mean, this is okay. It's kind of slow, and you might... You probably run this, though. It's a nice little win condition. You probably do run that. Brasswing. Oh, okay. Big Paladin. 8 mana, 9/7 Dragon for Paladin. At the end of your turn, deal 2 damage to all enemies, including face. Honorable kill. Restore 4 health to your hero. So you could heal a lot if this cleans up a nice little board of X2s. You'd definitely run this in Big Paladin. Do you though? Maybe. Maybe you don't run this in Big Paladin. It's good if obviously you kill stuff on board that has 2 or less health, so it's a mini AoE. But if it doesn't kill enough stuff on board, then you still die to stuff. This is definitely a consideration. The effect is probably good enough. And it goes phase too, which is, I mean, not super relevant, because, I mean, in Big Paladin, if you're connecting face, that's generally how you win. But this is probably okay. It's an 8-drop as well. It's a fair point. You can get this off Cenarian Ward. Slow but interesting. Yeah, slow but interesting. That's a good way of putting it. This might see play. It depends how many other cards we need to run in Big Paladin, and if this is better or worse than the other ones. Okay, Mass Polymorph. 7-mana mage spell. Transform all minions into 1/1 sheep. Super slow. Probably good if the meta does slow down and we have to deal with decks like Death Rattle Hunter. Probably okay against some stickier deck. Like, I don't. It might be okay against something like Beast Druid, but that Beast Druid might be too fast for this. Yeah, it would be good against something like Big Priest that spawns Death Rattles back. This is going to be very meta dependent. If the meta is slow enough where people are running slow value oriented decks, we're probably running Mass Polymorph. If it's not, we probably don't run any. There's not too many 7-mana spells. There is Flame Strike. So this could be drawn by Arcane Brilliance, just as a note. Or not drawn, but added to your hand from Arcane Brilliance. Maybe. Oh, another note while we're on the topic of Arcane Brilliance. You could probably run Goldshire Knolls in that deck too, because you probably have enough card draw. Intellect, Arcane Brilliance. You probably don't run Intellect, but Arcane Brilliance plus Goldshire Knoll would be a nice little wombo combo. Anyways, next up, Rakara the Valorous, 7-mana warrior hero. Battlecry, equip a 5/2 unstoppable force. After you attack a minion, smash it into the enemy hero. I imagine smashing it into the enemy hero means that its attack hits the enemy hero for that much damage. And your hero power becomes deal 2. Like a shadow form. But honorable kill, gain 4 armor. And it doesn't have to survive. That's an important note as well. This doesn't seem great. So changing your hero power from gain 2 armor to deal 2 damage can be quite relevant, because it does give you some way to close out the game against some decks. This isn't awful as a finisher, but you might not want this in most decks, because it's kind of slow. And so there's a couple of different warriors you can run. One is a more aggressive type deck, like a Pirate Warrior, for example. And I don't know if you want this in that deck, because it's probably too slow. You'd rather just, end the game with the Juggernaut. And there's slower warriors that are more control-oriented. And in that deck, you might want this as some sustained damage against slow decks. So it's not insane, but you might run it in a slow control warrior as a win condition. I'm not sure how good of a win condition this is, though. Yeah, again, this is very important based on breakpoints of the meta, like how many things you can kill 2 damage, and so on and so forth. You get 10 damage at least out of the force, which is okay as well, but not insane. If you really want to close out a game, you can just run Blacksmithing Hammer. This isn't awful, but it's definitely not great. You might include it if you want an extra win condition. Next up, Frozen Mammoth, 4-mana 6/7 beast. Not quite 4-mana 7/7, eh? It's a neutral. This is frozen until you cast a fire spell. I don't think every class has access to fire spells. You could run this in Mage. Huh. This might see fringe play, but doubtful. Huh. Yeah, this doesn't really fit in Phase Hunter, though. Like, if you're running Explosive Trap, this is a 6-mana 6/7. Yeah, I don't think so. Cute, maybe with more support, but yeah, probably not. Sigil of Reckoning. More big demon hunter support. 5 mana spell. It's a fell spell. At the start of your next turn, summon a random demon from your hand. Cool. Probably sees play. There's enough demon hunter support, like big DH support, that this is just, yeah, you run this. Captain Galvangar. 6 mana 6/6 warrior minion. Battle cry. If you have gained 15 more or more armor this game, gain +3/+3 in charge. So theoretically, this is like a 6 mana 9/9 finisher. You could run this with Vandar Stormpike, right? So it costs less with Captain Vandar on your deck. And then you can run like Face. Is Faceless Manipulator in actually? Or did that rotate from the core set? I can't remember. No, it is in. I remember Facelessing Rattlegores. So yeah, it is in. Oh, you're right. Also the minion that reduces the spell that reduces minions cost this turn by 2. So you play that for 2 mana, this becomes 4, so that's 6, and then Faceless becomes 3. So it's a 9 mana 18 damage finisher. You can conditioning as well, which adds some extra oomph. This could be your finisher. Okay. Okay. Or Battlemaster. Sure, Battlemaster is the same as Faceless, though, but Faceless is cheaper. Interesting. So then you run this with a warrior, like, cycle cards. Okay. All right, fine. You've convinced me. Not bad. Iceblood Tower. 10 mana mage spell. At the end of your turn, cast another spell from your deck. Last 3 turns. Okay, well, we're running this in Big Spell Mage. I'm having like future flashbacks. What are those called? Visions? Yeah, you probably run this in Big Spell Mage. You cast some good stuff from your deck, right? You probably run Deep Freeze. Power's not in. Deep Freeze. You could run Grand Finale. You could run the 9 mana Yogg Box. Yeah, sure. We run this. Belinda Stoneheart, 6 mana 5/5 minion. Battle cry. It's a mage minion. Draw 2 spells. Swap their costs with this minion's stats. So the first spell you draw, let's say, costs 8 mana. It now is 5 mana, and this minion has 8 attack. The second spell, let's say it's 10 mana. That costs 5 mana now, and this minion's health would be 10. This is a great card. Now, you have to be not dead to play this, of course. But this becomes a really thick minion in Big Spell Mage, and you probably run this. It's probably good. If you play this and you don't die, you're probably in a good spot next turn. Cool. Next up. The Lobotomizer. 2 mana 2/2 weapon for rogue. Honorable kill. Get a copy of the top card of your opponent's deck. More Burgle support. Honorable kill is not easy to do if the meta's not board-centric, and it becomes a lot worse if your opponent doesn't play minions. This is probably fine, but I'm not in love with it. Generally, I'm not super into the whole Burgle thing. Now, I could be convinced otherwise once we actually see the deck and see how it plays, but doubtful. Generally, your opponent runs cards that work well with their cards and don't generally work well with yours. So, Zyrella the Devout. 8 mana priest hero. You gain the 5 armor. Battle cry. Trigger the death rattle of every friendly minion that died this game. And then your hero power becomes deal 5 or heal 5. And it swaps back each turn. Holy Touch and Void Spike. It's just pretty good. There's a lot of death rattles that do stuff. There's some that gain armor. There's some that gain health. There's some that deal AoE damage, like the new 6 mana 3/7. I don't know if that's been shown in a previous video or if we're going to talk about it here, but that's there. It's just pretty good. Yeah. You probably just gain health or do something defensive when you play this because of the battle cry, so that is solid. And then you have it's a slightly better shadow form if we're talking about it like that. Damage output is technically 2.5 per turn if you're hero powering every other turn. Okay, Sure, solid. Spring the Trap. 4 mana Hunter spell. Deal 3 damage to a minion and cast a secret from your deck. If it's an honorable kill, you cast 2. Okay, so secret support, but oh, you know what? Isn't Petting Zoo still in? Okay, maybe there is enough secret support. Petting Zoo was actually pretty solid when it came out. It's just that we found more efficient hunters. Hunter stuff. Okay, maybe we do actually run this. JK, this might actually be good. And you could probably run that with Death Rattle cards, maybe? I don't know if there's a full secret deck, but you could use secret cards as support for other archetypes. Okay, that makes this better. Chidi Snowball, 3 mana 3/4 a Shaman minion. After an enemy is frozen, deal 3 damage to it. Seems pretty good. Stat line is nice. You can use this paired together with freezes and freeze shaman to deal damage to it. Good card. I like it. You can use this plus the 1 mana spell, which is freeze a minion, draw a card. So it's like a 4 mana little wombo combo. Pretty good. This is a priest legendary that I'm not going to try pronouncing. Najak Hexen. Okay, well, I just tried. It's fine. 4 mana 1/4 minion. Battlecry, take control of an enemy minion. This does not say random, so I'm assuming you get to choose it. Death Rattle, give the minion back. So for 5 mana, you can take this and then silence it with like a focus tool or something. And then the minion's just yours. Okay. So it's like a 5 mana combo. Even if it's not a 5 mana combo, you still disrupt it for a turn. Can steal a rush minion too. That's a fair point. Interesting. This plus Brewmaster. The effect is powerful, but it's hard to kind of evaluate this because if priest decks are running more card draw heavy cards, you can reasonably do this plus a silence effect. But if priest is not drawing that many cards, you're limited to how often you'll actually be able to use this in silence. And using this without the silence is still okay because it delays the game and sets you up for bigger swing turns with like soul mirrors or stuff like that. But I think you'd rather run this with silence effects. This is interesting. I'm not sure. This might see play. This is hard to evaluate. Cool. Fleet Runner. Seraphine, I imagine. 5 mana 5/5 rogue minion. It's a legendary. Battlecry. Replace your minions, both in hand and deck, with ones from other classes. Now this also, note, I believe implies that you can get minions from multiple different classes within one game. Otherwise, it would say from another class. Interesting. Which reduces the amount of synergies they can get, which probably makes it a little bit worse. They cost 2 less. Okay. Obvious synergy with Burgle stuff. Tempo is probably pretty good. Because stuff is cheaper. Huh. I don't know. Probably too much of a meme. Even though you have the 2 Burgle cards we talked about earlier, it'll make you... I mean, it's good tempo, but it's random, which makes it a little bit worse. Because there's a lot of minions if you look at the pool of available minions that are kind of like meh. And if you make them cost 2 less, it's better. But still probably meh. Doubtful. Undying Disciple. 6 mana 3/7. Priest minion. Taunt. Death Rattle. Deal damage equal to this minion's attack to all enemy minions. Defensively statted. Helps you clean up board. Works with amulets. Works with a hero. Pretty good. I like this. Have we actually gotten to these cards already? Have we talked about these? Where are we at? No, we haven't. We have a few more we haven't gone through yet. Okay. We're almost done though. Urzul Giant. 13 mana Demon Hunter Demon. It's an 8/8. Costs 1 less for each friendly minion that died this game. Okay, the 2 mana 2/2 that spawns 2 1/1s when you attack with your hero. Those 2 are demons, the 1/1s, not the 2/2. You probably can run this in the like tempo deck, right? It's fine. You're probably not running this in big DH. You'd rather have more impactful demons that show up on the board, like Taunts, Inquisitor, etc. Oh, it's friendly minion that died this game. Oh, this is insane. Never mind. Yeah, it doesn't even matter if you have demons die. This is just good. This is really good. You run the token stuff. I forget which of the Illidari rushed things are in focus. Coordinated Strike, Command the Illidari. If those are in, you probably run those. Yeah, it doesn't even need to be in your hand. That's pretty good too. Yeah, this is good. This sees play. Also, a quick note, you guys did mention this plus the 2 mana priest spell that buffs health and inner fires is nice as well, but it's pretty slow. You probably just have to play this on curve to deal with board. Brewcon of the Elements. Battlecry, call upon the power of 2 elements. This is the Shaman Hero card. And let's go over what those elements are. There's 4 invocations. There's Earth Invocation. Summon 2/2/3 elementals with taunt. There's Water Invocation. Restore 6 health to all friendly characters. Fire. Deal 6 to the enemy hero. And Lightning. Deal 2 to all enemy minions. 2 is an unfortunate number. 2 makes it much worse than 3. This just in, 2 is less than 3. So you get to choose with the battle cry which of these 2 you want to do. You can't use the same one twice. Then your hero power will become one of the remaining 2 invocations randomly, and then it will cycle randomly, I believe, going forward. Immediate invocation, pretty solid. The random invocations after that are fine. The 2 mana summon 2/2/3 taunts is good. This gives you some inevitability. The healing's not bad, but it's a pretty big clown fiesta, right? Kind of like Dr. Boom type stuff. You get value, you get healing, you get damage, you get clear. All of these are good. The problem is it's random after the initial invocations that you choose, which makes it much less good and consistent. Probably still playable, but it's a bit of a clown fiesta. Next up, Frozen Buckler. This works with a 10 mana clear and warrior we were talking about. 2 mana, gain 10 armor. It's a frost spell as well. At the start of your next turn, lose 5 armor. So it's pretty cool. If you're getting smart down, you can just ship this to gain 10. And if they hit you for 10, cool. If they hit you for less than 10, you lose some armor. Okay. And yeah, 2 mana, gain 10, which makes the armor spell cost 0, the AoE spell. So it's 2 mana, 2 cards, 5 damage AoE. Not bad. You probably do run this. Also can work with Shield Slam. And it gains armor, which ends up working with the 6 mana 6/6 that turns into a 6 mana 9/9 with charge if you've gained 15 armor. Yeah, that's a board clear. We probably run that. Popsy Cooler. 3 mana 3/3 mech. Death Rattle, freeze 2 random enemy minions. 3 mana 3/3. Mech. Freeze 2 random enemy minions. Okay. Death Rattle. Meh. Nope. Meh. Pretty meh. Forsaken Lieutenant. 2 mana 2/2 rogue minion. Stealth. After you play a Death Rattle minion, become a 2/2 copy of it with Rush. Okay, so Stealth. Alright. Delayed Death Rattle. This is actually kind of cool. This probably fits in some sort of Death Rattle deck. Are we running Death Rattle Rogue? There have been some Death Rattle synergies. But... Card is good, but I don't know what we're running. Curves into Ticketmaster. That is interesting. Owl Death Rattle? Yeah, we're not running Owl. Owl is... Do you remember how much Owl costs? Owl costs 7 mana. Borrow. Oh, we got Borrow support. Okay. Okay, hold on. This is really good in Boar Rogue. Interesting. Not if you discover it. Okay. Again, the card itself is actually solid, but I don't know what we're... Yeah, I don't know what deck this fits in. Shadow Word Devour. Choose a minion. It steals 1 health from all other minions. Interesting. This is pretty cool. This is really cool. If you have a cheap minion against an aggressive deck, you jam the cheap minion, play Shadow Word Devour. Bam, you get a bunch of health. Works with the 2-mana 1/4 that we were talking about, that we saw earlier. You can use it with a bigger taunt later on as well to just add more stats on it. This is probably okay. Again, this is kind of relevant in terms of whether or not this is played. Depends on how much card draw we actually have in Priest, because if there's more card draw available, then we can afford to run spells like this. But if card draw is very scarce. If we don't have a lot of card draw, this is harder to justify running, because it's kind of like a crappy combo, but it could be a good crappy combo. Okay. Might see play. Also from Wandmaker pool. Oh. Did we talk about this one already? I don't remember. I think the last one we talked about was this. Okay, so we got a few more to go, and then we're done. Dread Prison Glaive. 1 mana 1 Demon Hunter weapon. Honorable kill. Deal damage equal to your hero's attack to the enemy hero. Okay. So kind of like Knuckles, that old Hunter Beast card, but on a weapon and for Demon Hunter. This is probably okay. So equipping this on 1 means you get to swing 3 times, which leads up to the Demon Hunter hero power, hero card. So then when you jam that on 6, if you've already swung 3 times with this, you get two 4/4 rushes, which is pretty good. So even without the text on this, 1 mana 1/3 weapon is better because of the Demon Hunter card. Honorable kill could happen, could not. You could run some damaging stuff in your, like some damage buffs in your deck, right? Like Fury, Twin Slice. You could run Chaos Strike. So there's ways to fiddle with how much damage is being done. It's not bad. You probably run this, and it curves into the 2-drop as well. Yeah, we run this in that deck. Cool. Sidon the Scarlet, or Sadin the Scarlet. 3 mana 2/2 rush. Whenever this minion gains attack or health, double that amount wherever this is. So great for hand buffs. Cool. I mean, we just run this. It's good, right? And it has rush, which is huge as well. Yeah, this is a great card. Very good. Sacrificial Summoner. Battle cry. Destroy a friendly minion. Summon a minion from your deck that costs 1 more. Cool. Again, we're going with like a death rattle theme for Warlock, right? So this is good with eggs or anything that you're popping, because it activates the death rattle, which is great. Having activators is wonderful. And then you summon something from your deck as well. This is pretty good. Cool. Good card. You run this in whatever mid-range zoo death rattle thing we're doing. And I believe we've already reviewed this. So that's the end of the review. And that's, you know, just a classic 2-hour speedrun. Or however long this was post-editing. Cool. Thanks for hanging out. Over the course of the next few days, we're going to be posting a bunch of Theorycraft videos, which means that we're going to be trying to build decks for the expansion, and we're going to be posting them on YouTube for you guys to check out. So keep an eye out for that. Hope you liked the video. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Happy Theorycrafting, and hope to see you in the next video. But if not, have fun in Alterac Valley.